Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for the sign of Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Thank you so much, Virgo, for being here. This is a love reading for the sign of Virgo. I do appreciate all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. Thank you so much for all the feedback you've given and for just your encouragement. I greatly appreciate it. Also, just a note, please do not fall for any scammers or anyone who solicits for a private reading. I will never reach out to you first for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and that information can be found in the About section of my About box, but I will never reach out to you first. So I just want you to keep yourself safe. Virgo, we're going to be doing your reading with the Tarot of the Abyss, beautiful black and white deck. And the oracle will be from the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck, which is these awesomely shaped cards. I will pull 4 cards for you as the base spread, 4 cards as clarifiers. I hope you all are doing well. I never choose the cards. I just shuffle and let them fly out of the deck. So far, 3 cards out, 3 cards all in reverse. The last one was in the upright. Okay, so, all right. What's going on, Virgo? Talk to me. Okay, Virgo, I did pick a crystal for you today. I just started to, I was thinking about this, about introducing crystals in the readings. And, you know, this love reading, it doesn't have to be about romantic love. It can be about friendships and self-love and familial love as well. For your reading today, I chose this amazing Mookaite tower. Mookaite is a crystal that I had an issue with in the beginning. Crystals, when you start to buy crystals, some crystals stand out to you energetically. They kind of become your go-tos, your old reliables. I can always rely on this crystal to provide me and the energy or the emotion that I need assistance with or amplification with. Mookaite is a crystal of family lineage healing. So as we ascend spiritually, let's think of yourself like this. I don't know why I had to, go on a tangent like this, but here we are. Think of yourself like this. If you are in this life and having a spiritual awakening, ascending, as people like to call it, your soul is ascending to a higher level of consciousness, of awareness. And part of that awareness involves you understanding that you will be the one to help heal family wounds, family wounding through transmutation. What does all that mean? It means that if your family has a legacy of, I don't even know, I'm just using an example. If your family has a legacy of addiction, that you may be the first in your family to break that legacy. How you do that is perhaps by going through the addiction yourself and then coming to the conclusion that you don't need that in your life, that energy, that it's not for your highest and best good. And that through your connection with Source, you can overcome that addiction. And not only overcome it, you can thrive in every area of your life. And you may not be able to help the other family members that might have an addiction issue, but you are not going to perpetuate it, continue to perpetuate that in your family line. So that's just an example. I think this love reading has to do with family, which was the long-winded way of saying it. In the current circumstances right now, you got the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So the Knights in the tarot, they're kind of like the messengers. In the court cards, we have Page, Knight, Queen, King. Page, Knight, Queen, King. Page, Knight, Queen, King. My finger wouldn't go, it wouldn't go in that direction. In the upright, the Knight of Pentacles represents earth energy, your energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Pentacles talk about earthly concerns, the material world, the 3D world, the things we can affect and change ourselves, as opposed to, you know, Spirit's hand in something. I mean, Spirit has their hand in everything, but we also have free will. And so in the 3D world, we are the ones making a lot of the decisions, right? The Knights bring messages. They come in and they have something to say. So this Knight would have something to say about an opportunity or, yeah, a chance to do something, to fix something, to move forward in something. It is the slowest Knight in the tarot because it involves things and opportunities and circumstances in the 3D world. We're not living in a vacuum. So just because I want something to happen doesn't mean it won't happen. But there's so many things that have to fall into place in the 3D world for us to have that manifestation. It will come as long as we believe and we keep taking steps towards it. But, you know, just as an example, if there's a house that you just know you're supposed to live in, that house is supposed to be mine, but there's somebody currently living there. Well, you're not going to get that house until that person moves out. What are the circumstances that Spirit has to orchestrate to make somebody move out of their house for you to be able to move in, right? Think about if you're getting the Spirit's eye view or the bird's eye view on the inner workings of planet Earth and all of the beautiful and crazy inhabitants. That's what we're talking about when we talk about Pentacles energy, just looking at all the minutia, the details of how we can get to where we need to be. This is the slowest moving Knight for that reason. He's coming, but he's not even on the horse in this card. He's not even riding the horse. The horse is just like, you're too heavy, get off of me. You got this card in the reverse in terms of your current circumstances. So if things were slow before, they're almost at a near standstill right now. And this card is clarified by the Two of Swords. So there could be some decision that you are debating right now. I sometimes like to refer to this as the, sorry if you can hear that in the background, my neighbors must be running their shower or something, I don't know. It's always at the most opportune time, right? Oh, thank you, Spirit, and it stopped. I sometimes look at this card as comedy and tragedy, don't know why. I mean, I do know why, but I don't necessarily know if that's what it represents, but comedy and tragedy. The Swords suit represents air and the cerebral headspace, the thinking energy. What do I do? Which way am I supposed to go? How am I supposed to understand this scenario? You got it in the reverse. So it's kind of suggesting to me that in your current circumstances, you realize that something has been slow in coming to you because you waited too long to make a decision about something. So let me give you an example. If this has to do with family, maybe you were debating going to see your grandpa. He's getting older and he's in a nursing home. This is just an example, but if it resonates, it resonates. An elderly person. Maybe it's tough for you. Oh, I'll go next week. I'll go next week. I'll do it next week. Because it's tough. It's tough to watch people kind of struggling at the end of their lives, and we will all meet that end. And you were debating, but there was something that you wanted to know. Maybe your grandpa has amazing stories and you wanted to write them all down, but you haven't for the longest time been able to make your way over. And now you're deciding, okay, I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna put my fear aside, because what is that all about? It's fear. I don't know if you've ever been in a nursing home before. I have, and it's a tough place. It's a tough place to be. So that was just an example. I don't know why I brought that up, but it feels relevant for at least one person out there. So in your current circumstances, there are things that are feeling a little stagnant. They're just not just stagnant, resistant. They're resistant. You're feeling resistant to something. The challenges with this, though, 10 of Cups in reverse makes sense. 10 of Cups in the upright is blissfulness, walking towards that illumination, sunlight, the happy home, happy life, happy wife, or husband or spouse, whomever, in the distance, a blissfulness. The Cups energy is water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. We're talking about feelings and emotion and intuition and compassion and all those beautiful things. This normally would be a card of joy, and you got it in the reverse. It's almost like saying, you know what the joy is. You know the direction to move in towards that joy, but right now that's your challenge. You can't move in that direction. 5 of Pentacles, clarifying that. Ooh, Virgo, this is tough. This is tough. It's not an easy reading, and it might not resonate for all of you, but because this is a general reading. 5 of Pentacles in the upright is the feeling of being left out in the cold, being forgotten. It might have to do with somebody who's elderly, somebody you love deeply, but it's just been really hard for you to go visit them, to go spend time with them. But you're realizing that, they still have their wits about them, and they would welcome you in with open arms. And you think that maybe they would be upset with you because you haven't seen them in so long, but they wouldn't be. They'd just be happy to see you. It's almost like, get out of your headspace. Now, if it's not having to do with an elderly person, I don't know why I just tripped up over all of those words. Maybe it's an ailing relative or an ailing friend or an ailing situation. Perhaps somebody went through a divorce and they have to clean out their house, and you said, I'll help you, and you just didn't get around to it. This in no way is to make anyone feel guilty or upset, right? But if you're the great transmuter, you're the one healing family lineage. Lucky you, right? But when we're having our spiritual awakening, it's not rainbows and puppy dogs. It's on your knees, praying, crying, struggling to get back up again. And then when you do, nothing can stop you. Literally nothing. Because then spirit, the universe, that you're part of it. You're so small and you're so divine simultaneously. In your strengths energy, somebody must be cleaning their tub right now, because that tub keeps going. Sorry, Virgos. I am not going to stop the reading, however, because in the flow. Knight of Cups is your strength. In the reverse, the Knight of Cups is, again, we talked about the knights being really quick movers with messages. Knight of Cups in this card is represented by kind of a sailor on a ship, hoisting up the sails. Or I need to learn these boating terms. Diligently looking up to the sky for guidance, might I add. You got this card in reverse. Anytime I see kind of one of the court cards of the cups in reverse, it's kind of a turning back in on oneself, a turning of the love energy and the emotional energy back to the self. So that's your strength right now. Spirit is saying you're trying to recapture a little bit of that playful energy. Because if we think of the ages of the court cards, a page would be like a youthful, slightly immature energy, and a knight would be kind of teenager breaking into young adult 20s, late 20s energy, where you're like an adult by society standards, but you're like a kid in your head, and you're still trying to figure out, still trying to have fun, pull yourself together and do something. But I'm still a kid, and you know, my parents are supporting me. It's that energy. It's I want to have fun, but I know I need to be an adult, but I know I want to have fun. So in this strength energy, it's kind of like Spirit saying you're trying to negotiate that for yourself right now. I mean, you could be 70 years old and you're just trying to recapture a little bit of that youthful spirit, right? That's a good thing. It's clarified by the Six of Cups. This is a card of nostalgia. So 2 Cups cards here for you, Virgo. Trying to remember the good old days, the happiness. We want to be careful with the Six of Cups, though. It's beautiful energy. But it's almost like if you're in charge of that lineage healing, then remembering the past for what it was, not trying to repeat it, because we can never go back. So it might be looking back a little bit with rose-tinted glasses, but we can never truly go back, and that's okay. That's okay. We can learn from the past. We can enjoy our memories of it. One of my favorites on YouTube, like she's one of the tarot readers that I love to watch. She always says you can look back at the past, but you shouldn't stare. And that's your strength right now, which is you being able to look back at the past and almost not separate yourself from it completely, but not getting to the point where you are seduced by it and living in the past. You're not living in the past anymore. You know that you can't go back, but it's okay to learn. What is your advice from, and when I said that, I saw 1818 on the timer. What is your advice from Spirit? This is a major arcana card, your first and only major arcana card. You got the Tower. I was thinking about this the other day. I haven't seen the Tower card in ages. Lucky you, Virgo. There is great upheaval, surprise, or change happening in your life. The Tower is bringing down a structure built under a false pretense or a false foundation. It was never stable to begin with, and now Spirit is kind of bringing it down. Maybe you were hesitating. Maybe you knew it was coming down, and you were just trying to hold on a little bit longer, a little bit longer. Maybe if I avoid this conversation, it'll just go away. And Spirit's like, nope, you waited too long. Now we have to intervene. So this is your advice. Your advice is the Tower clarified by the Queen of Cups, Cancer energy. Queen of Cups is somebody who is so loyal and loving, overflowing with emotions, overflowing with compassion for others, has enough love in her cup to give to others. You got it in reverse, and whenever I see the card in reverse, it reminds me of somebody who is, again, like the night, pouring it back to yourself. This is a time to really, it's almost like embrace the tower falling. Embrace the fact that change is happening. And no one likes change. But the more that you lean into it, lean into the change, the better it will serve you. Very strong message. That if this has to do with a family situation. Now, let's say maybe this didn't, it doesn't resonate with you in terms of a family dynamic. Maybe it is a romantic dynamic. Then there's something coming in that's going to upset the energy, kind of shake things up, embrace it. Queen of Cups is telling me you have to love yourself. If there was some doubt as to whether or not you deserved it, Spirit is saying you have to, you put the oxygen mask on before you put the oxygen mask on somebody else, right? You have to feed your soul, pour into your own cup first. You cannot fill someone else's cup from an empty cup, is what I just heard. Lean into the change. It will only serve you. So that was not an easy reading, and it didn't feel very romantic, right? But I can't, if it didn't resonate, it's not for you. It's for somebody out there, because otherwise Spirit wouldn't give me this message, and it came through very clearly for me. It's not a bad reading. It's just, if we're the ones tasked spiritually with healing family wounds, I mean, we'd have to be a hell of a strong person to have the skill set and the fortitude to do that. So take this as a reminder of your inner strength. And that only translates to other relationships in our lives, right? And if we're thinking about romantic relationships, you know how they always say that we meet a version of our parents? You know how they say that? Even if you don't talk to your parents anymore, don't you want to be right in your heart about how you feel towards them, so that when you meet your divine counterpart, that you're not just meeting a version of a parent that you resent. Rather, you're embracing a person that vibes in the same frequency as you, that is coming from a healed place, that may have experienced family trauma, but that is healed from it, that has done the work, that has meditated, gone to therapy, cleansed their life in some way. Don't we want to attract from that headspace and emotional space? I'm going to pull a card now from the Oracle, Wild Unknown Alchemy. Beautiful. The card you have is synchronicity. So kind of Ouroboros snakes eating themselves energy. It's the circle of life. In the middle, a diamond. A diamond. That is beautiful. Man, I wish I got this card for myself. It's gorgeous. Unus Mundus, synchronicity. I'm going to read from the book. LX3. 113, I think. 113. Is this the last card? No, it's not the last card in the deck. I'm going to read from the book. Source, destiny, the miraculous message. See? We're talking about messages from the nights, messages. The Unus Mundus is the presiding deity of alchemy. It arrives to remind us that we are not alone in our queries or our journey. What are we here to do? What pulls us forward? Unanswerable questions are timeless fuel for the flames of transformation. Mystics before us have uttered the same questions while tinkering in their laboratory. Do not underestimate the brave act of your attention to our world. What you notice matters. You matter. When this card arrives, sacred messages abound. Everything is a living symbol, a synchronicity. Its guidance is sent directly from the alchemists who have come before you. Lineage, the alchemists who have come before you to encourage you along the way. See the deeper meaning of what is in front of you. In this very moment, the new eye opens. Synchronicity is the way the world of mysteries claims our attention. Something is sure to stick out to you today. A word, an image, lyrics, a memory. Take note. A memory. Take note. So there's something, you're going to get a download. Spirit's going to give you a download. Don't write it off. Very, very important. Don't write it off. Not an easy one, but you can do it, Virgo. If any of the signs have discipline, it's you. I wish you the best of luck with whatever tower is happening, because it's not easy, but you can do it. Believe in yourself, believe in spirit. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this message, please like, share, subscribe to my channel. Bye, Virgos.